Hello, beautiful friends. So today I'm going to introduce you to Auris. Auris Cordis is her name. Auris Cordis. And it's Latin for the ear of the heart. Just want to begin by saying that I defend your right to health. It is a divine right, and it is a right to life in wholeness. And Auris was really an important teacher in that concept for me. When I got Auris, I had plans. She was 6 months old. I bought her with the idea that she was going to be my new dressage horse. So I quickly started working with her on the ground and was really thrilled when I finally was able to get on her back. I waited until she was 3 before I got on her back. And I'm just going to stand here a little, back out of the wind a little bit more, see if that helps. There we go, maybe that's better. Anyway, she and I went through a journey of learning some natural horsemanship techniques that I plan to put into work with my dressage, and she quickly started to let me know that no matter what I was doing, what I was really doing, whatever technique I was using, I was bent on controlling her. It's another one of those lessons that I'm ashamed to share, but at the same time I'm proud to share it because I've learned so much coming through that story of being control-minded and how it didn't fit with her and therefore didn't fit for me. She never bucked. Auris wasn't a bucker. She was a rearer. And oh my goodness, then can she go high. That girl goes straight up. She feels like you're messing with her sensibility. Straight up. Now the thing that traditional dressage was about bringing out the best in the horse, bringing out their power and showing it off. Showing the beauty and the power and the majesty of the horse. And then it was also used, well, it was primarily used in war, in battle. Those riders had to have that kind of a relationship with those horses in order to achieve what they were achieving while they were still fighting from horseback. So the horses had to be ultra responsive, and they had to be able to do fantastic maneuvering to be able to be part of the battle. And I loved that idea of having that kind of majesty and that kind of relationship with a horse. So I named her Auris Cordis because it means the ear of the heart in Latin. And that comes from the ancients believing and understanding that God spoke to our hearts directly through our ears. It was a funnel from our ears directly to our hearts. And so what Auris took that, internalized that name, wears it proudly, and says, let go and let God. And she taught me so much about how I needed to let go and let God. So Auris is 20 now. She's had this lameness in her hips for a while. I want to say probably 12 years, right in there. We discovered some issues. I had a lot of alternative therapies done with her. Never did really do dressage with her because once she told me that it did not fit for her and I was moving forward in a different horsemanship path. So we tried doing ranch roping. Auris doesn't like cows. Not at all. In fact, she has cows as her neighbors up on the hill, and she won't go near the fence when those cows are over there. I'm riding down the road, and there's a pasture filled with cattle. She goes completely sideways and gets as far away from those cattle as she can. So ranch roping wasn't something that we wanted to do together. We did a lot of trail riding. And she's done a lot of teaching. She's taught a lot of students what it looks like to be in right relationship with a horse. So we've covered a lot of miles together, Auris and I have. Her lesson is about surrendering to what is, allowing the being, the biological being, to be what it is as an individual, as purely unique from an energetic, emotional, spiritual place. Auris has deep wisdom to impart when she's working with people, as we're working with people here. Deep wisdom about femininity. She's the only mare in this group of geldings. All geldings except for her. She's my earth horse. She holds space for the planet. For the planet's highest good. So I wanted to talk about how you have a divine right to health and a divine right to wholeness, and how I defend that for you. And I need to ask you if you would defend it for me as well. Will you recognize that what works for you does not necessarily work for me? Because you are you, and I am me. And we are very different. We have different backgrounds. We have different energetic needs. We have different histories. We have different ancestors. Different needs. I'm deeply concerned about where our health freedoms are going right now. Instead of calling people healthy, they're called asymptomatic. And so that makes it sound like they're these carriers just carrying stuff out and about. ready to attack those who are most vulnerable. I had an insight the other day about the American Disabilities Act and how that is to help to provide support to those who need that extra support because they don't have the same physical or even mental abilities as a person who has full use of their body, full use of their mind. And so it provides, what that act has done is provided for those who need that extra support. But it didn't take all of those of us who are healthy and put us in a wheelchair and say, well, now we'll just design the world around the wheelchair and everybody has to sit in a wheelchair. Something to think about when we're discussing health freedoms, and what fits for one person doesn't necessarily fit for another, and what one person's needs are does not mean that it's the needs of everyone. And I keep hearing the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Well, that kind of takes me back to those that need the additional support, those who need the additional protections are the few. And that may come across as somewhat harsh because it's the reality. And I don't mean it to be harsh, and I don't mean it to lack compassion. What I mean it to do is to make people think, to ask you to think about the fact that we need to set up special support for those who need the special support, but don't handicap everyone else. Don't handicap the rest of the world. So I just want to end by telling you that I love you. And I'm thankful that you are you and that we are individuals. I'm thankful that I am I. I am I. That's funny. It keeps coming out that way. I am me. And that we're human. And that we are full-blown spiritual beings walking in physical, biological bodies. And I pray that when we say namaste, we really mean namaste. My soul sees your soul. Not just some bypassing of, hey, this is my way of saying, peace out, man. But I hope you agree with me. All right. I pray that you have a beautiful day. And I thank Auris for allowing me to share her story. God bless you all.